now, since we're a bit run out of time, I'm just going to start now and we're going to skip over announcements. Alright, today we're learning about leadership, practical ways to lead. And one thing to realize about this lesson and the series is we focus a lot on you have a future. Today we'll discuss practical ways teens can lead and how we can show leadership. Alright, so I want you to keep this answer in your head for later on, Beth. So imagine you're working at a charity event. Which are you more likely to do? Telling others what to do or cleaning the restroom? Now don't say that out loud, just keep it in your head. Alright, now next thing. Complete the sentence, I thank God. What do you thank God for, Beth?
My life.
Your life? Yeah, that's a good thing to thank God about.
Family.
Your family? Oh, sorry. Could you, I'll get that for you.
That's what I got.
You like Starbucks, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Is there anything else you thank God for?
P7.
P7? Yeah. I'll try and do a underthrow. Alright. Now I'm going to read some scenarios. Welcome to Leah and Sophia. We're learning about leadership, practical ways to lead. Alright. So now you're going to have to guess how leadership plays in the following scenarios. The whole class is making fun of the new kid, John, finally speaks up and tells them to stop. A few kids smirk, but the room falls silent. How does leadership fall in that scenario? Anyone?
How many kids and stuff?
Yeah, how John tells the kids to stop. Good job. You might be an A+ student today. All right, next scenario. Miss Lawson brings cupcakes to her classroom on the last day of school. Toward the end of class, she is called into the hallway. The bell rings, and the kids leave the room. An obstacle course of cupcakes, wrappers, crumbs, and disorganized desks. Joe stays behind a few extra minutes and cleans up before leaving. So how does leadership fall in that scenario of Jim helping out cleaning in the end? Anyone?
Helping.
Yeah, staying behind and helping to clean. Good job. Him being a servant. All right, next scenario, and this is our last one. A girl is in a group with 3 other girls for a class project. When they meet to discuss the project, everyone is quiet. One girl sits twirling her hair. Another doodles on her notebook. The other stares out the window. The one girl we talked about earlier looks over a list of what needs to be done and brings suggestions who would be the best suited to each task. So basically she takes out a paper and she's like, I think, for example, Beth would be good at maybe bringing the chips next week, or she says maybe Sophia would be good at bringing the games next week or something like that. How does leadership fall in that scenario? Yeah, she's helping them. She's helping them get organized because they're not doing anything else. They're just like, we can get an A+ on this group project. I don't care what the teacher thinks, or we can get an F. All right. Think about your answer to our icebreaker question, which was, you're working at a charity event. Which are you more likely to be doing? Telling others what to do or cleaning the restroom? So were you the bossier person saying, hey, you go do this, you go do that, or were you the person helping clean the restrooms? Which one would you say you were? Or would want to be?
Boss.
Boss? You want to be the boss who won't be like, hey, you go do that, so you don't want to clean the nasty restrooms? Anybody else? Sophia, what would you want to be? Boss or cleaning the restrooms? That's a good answer. And that yours was a good one too. What about you, Talia? Would you like to be a boss or clean bathrooms?
Boss.
Yeah. Most people would want to be the boss, but some people might want to help out and clean the restrooms. Did you know both of these things are, if done properly, demonstrate leadership ability? You knew that, Beth? we discussed in our previous lesson, which I know some of you missed, on how some people think leadership is all about ordering people around, saying, you do this, you do that. Well, this is a poor definition of leadership. It is true that organization is important, and being direct with others is an important ability as a leader. Has anyone heard about John the Baptist before? Yeah, you heard about John the Baptist? Mm-hmm. You did too, Sophia? Did you, Talia? No? All right, John the Baptist was a strong leader who was not afraid to tell others as they were. His preaching was not designed to set people at ease. John called people out and told them to repent. He even had the nerve to rebuke the king for marrying his own brother's wife. Now, I know some of you might be like, ew, disgusting, him marrying his own brother's wife. But if you're gifted with a personality that knows how to take charge, look for opportunities to use your talents to lead. Not by telling others what to do, but by being that influence like we talked about last week. Leadership is about influence. It's not about, hey, you go do this, you go do that. Because if I just started yelling orders at Beth or Talia or Sophia saying, hey, you go do that right now, or I said, no, you can't get your lunch because you're not worthy of that lunch, you guys would be upset, right? A good leader listens to those, and for example, when you guys were like, can I go get lunch? I was like, yeah, sure, go get your lunch because you guys need to eat. It's important to eat. Okay. But a good leader helps organize and direct people in the right path to go. All right, who wants to read our verse for today first? Oh, we don't have it up here. Sorry. I'll read it for you guys. 1 Colossians 14:40 says, let all things be done diligently and in order. Now, who wants to be a leader who wants to do things in order? Anyone? Yeah? You want to do things in order to make sure nothing breaks the laws or anything? Which that's a good leader. Your ability to lead and to take charge when is necessary, and it is a much needed gift. But sometimes you shouldn't always take charge. Sometimes you should be that person who cleans the bathroom, because there are times you need to be a servant, and then there are times you need to be like, hey, can you do this? But you shouldn't do it in a mean, bossy way and say, hey, Beth, go do this right now. You should be like, hey, Beth, can you go do this? Like, suggest it. Okay. Now we're going to talk about another aspect in leadership. Can anyone guess what that is? It starts with an S. And we talked about it earlier.
Serving. Yes,
good job. Serving. All right, so we're going to read Matthew 20:26 through 28. Who wants to be our reader for today? You want to read it, Sophia? Go ahead.
But it shall not be so many. But it shall not be so many. But whosoever will great money, let him be your master. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
Thank you, Sophia. All right, and then Philippians 2:3. Who wants to be our second reader for today? Beth? You want to read it?
If nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
Good job. Thank you. In Matthew, Jesus told his disciples that leaders should first be servants. He then reminded them that he was the unlimited servant. If the creator of the universe has a heart to serve, how can we see ourselves as too good or too important to serve, right? Because we shouldn't see ourselves as too important to serve if God, who literally created us, would go and serve others, right? Often there's no shortage of people trying to be in charge. Usually a bunch of people in our world today is like, I want to be in charge, I want to be the boss, I don't want others telling me what to do, right? Our world needs more people willing to serve, willing to go up to somebody in a room today and say, what can I do to help you today? All right? Our world has a bunch of people who are like, hey, go do that right now. But we need people who are like, I want to help you. What can I do for you, right? All right. Sorry, I lost my spot here. Willing to serve. Being a servant doesn't mean you're weak or that you should let people run over you. Like if you have somebody say, hey, give me all your money, I need your money. Doesn't mean you'd be like, okay, I'll give you all my money right now. Doesn't mean you let people step over you and bully and be like, you're the worst. All right, let's continue on here. In fact, the opposite is true. You should stand up for yourself. So when people are wrong to you, you should be like, hey, man, that's not cool. You're hurting my feelings. And you should also stand up for what you believe in. But do as Jesus did. So when you come in a situation where someone's mean to you, think, what would Jesus do? You shouldn't be like, what would Beth or Sophia or Talia, or for example, I shouldn't think, what would Abigail do? I should be like, okay, let me look in the Bible. What would Jesus do? So Jesus had a heart for ministry, and a heart for ministry led to him wanting to serve. And a lot of great ministers in the UPCI didn't start off by going up to the platform right away and preaching. They actually started by going up to their pastor, just like I went up to Beth and said, how would you like me to serve you? They started by going up to the pastor and saying, hey, pastor, I want to serve in the kingdom. How can I serve you? Many started by cleaning the church, doing Bible studies, and once, if you guys are interested in a Bible study training, I can train you on how to do one-on-one Bible studies, or you can even go up to your pastor at your church and be like, hey, pastor, I want to serve. How can I clean the church? And I'm possibly thinking of later on talking to the principal about us maybe doing a service activity of us going around outside and picking up trash. Because as you know, there's most likely a lot of trash out there that needs to be picked up. Service is a trademark of a great leader. Another practical way to lead is simply to set a good example. Joshua, a great leader of the Bible, demonstrated the efforts of this. All right. Joshua 24:15 through 16. Talia, you want to read it?
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
And if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and the house, we will serve the Lord. And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord to serve him.
Thank you, Talia. Joshua gave the people a choice and then publicly made his own dedication. And he said, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. And a bunch of preachers, when they preach on that. They say, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Anytime you set an example, you are showing leadership. So if you see someone drop their book, you go up and pick up that book. And then you're showing leadership when you pick up that book for that person and hand it to them. Or you help someone carry your bags because people may be watching you. Don't know who's watching you, where you go. Now, I'm not saying that to creep you guys out. I'm just saying that to warn you, be careful what you do around others because they do watch you. Well, you're an example to others. So if you go and pick up a book for, say, Sophia dropped her book in the hallway, you pick it up. Other people might do the same that you do. So take care of that example you set and make it a good example because people will follow your example. They will also follow your bad examples. And does anyone want anybody else to follow their bad example? No, probably not, right? Because you're probably like, I'm ashamed of that example. Why are you copying the example I did? So they will follow that bad example just as easily as they will the good ones. So keep your eyes open for ways to lead and to serve. Help out with your youth group, run for student council, get involved in class projects, or if you see someone having a hard time in a different group, say, hey, how can I help you guys? Even if you guys are going against each other in a competition or something, you should still strive to help them and serve them. Also, get involved in community programs. Maybe there's a fruit drive or something for the homeless people out there. Maybe they're like, hey, we're looking for more food for these people who don't have any food. Maybe you help them, or maybe you help with volunteering. Maybe you say, I'm going to do 2 hours of service to feeding the homeless with this group of people. Or you gather a group of people together, you guys make some kind of food, and you go out and hand it to people on the streets. Now, when you do that, you shouldn't go alone because it can be dangerous sometimes, so never do that by yourself. Find somebody to do it with. Practice being direct with others without being rude or bossy. Look for opportunities to provide direction. Be a servant. Set a great example. You're on your way to becoming a great leader, and we're going to learn more about that next week. Now, let's go over some questions. Why is it important for teens to learn about leadership?
So they can be good future leaders.
Yeah, because we are the future. Let's take 2 more answers. Soleil or Sophia, do you have any good answers? Why is it important that teens learn about leadership?
So that like you're able to lead them.
Talia, do you have an answer? Also, because we are the future presidents or principals or teachers, because when you're a teacher, you're leading students into learning how to do math, science, English, social studies. Next question. Why is it important to begin developing leadership skills as a teen? Beth.
So you could be a very, very, very good leader.
Because you want people to respect you as a leader. You don't want people to be like, oh, that's the worst leader. Right? Sophia, do you have an answer? Why is it important for teens to develop leadership skills?
So that like say like about like what's it called, peer pressure?
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to withstand that peer pressure and you're able to like, make good decisions for other people.
Well, I'm going to give you 2 because I like that answer. That was a very good one. Do you have an answer for that? Why is it important to begin developing leadership skills as a teenager?
Maybe some people aren't used to being bossy, and they should
Yeah.
get
you
to
have
know
to speak up.
the feeling of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good answer. Good job, Talia. Also, another great answer would be we are the future. And what we learn about and what we choose to do affects everybody else's future, because your parents will become the elders with the wisdom and advice. And you should go up to an elder sometime and be like, hey, what wisdom and advice do you have for me? And a bunch of preachers talk about that all the time, about how you should go up to elders in your church and be like, what wisdom and advice do you have for me to learn about? And you know what? The future starts now. So it matters what you learn about. It matters what you know. All right, let's end in prayer. God, you put within each of us the makings of a great leader. Help us to learn to lead by example with confidence while maintaining a servant's heart. So, as you go throughout this week, write down your strengths and weaknesses when it comes to leadership. What are some steps you can take toward improving your leadership skills? What are some real-life ways you can lead in the coming week? And next week we will be talking about leading with confidence. So if any of you have a hard time leading with confidence or doing anything with confidence, we'll talk about that next week. I already got all your names in this here. If you guys could start cleaning up while I pull out the name for the Starbucks gift card, that would be great. This bag is here for the posters. And here is the blue bag for the other stuff. All right, let's pull out our name for the Starbucks gift card for today. And our winner is Talia. Starbucks gift card for you. Oh, what did you do with the gray notebook? Okay, thank you. So congratulations, Talia. You won a $10 Starbucks gift card. Alright, so if we could finish putting everything away, and we're going to play a really short game. Okay, that's alright.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good day. Good luck with your homework. Alright. So, you two want to play the Tell Your Tale game? Where you make up your own story? Remember it, Talia?
No.
Alright, so I'll tell you the rules. So basically, I'll start off with a small little person, animal, or whatever, and you guys have to complete the story. And it's about 12:15, so we got a few minutes to do that here. So I'm going to begin with Once Upon a Time Ago. There was a... Sophia, go ahead. Talia?